What's going on, guys? Back with a quick follow-up video, or more or less an update on my last video on the Michelin Pilot 4S tires I was running. Had installed those a few months ago. For those that hadn't seen that video, I'll just do a little recap. I was running a 325 30 19 in the rear and a 285 35 up front. Still running the Ford Star CF5Vs. I got 19 by 10 in the front and 19 by 11 in the rear. I have since changed those out. I'm now running the Michelin Pilot Super Sports. I have the 305 35 in the rear and still stuck with a 285 35 up front. I have to say I am now much more pleased with the overall look and stance of the car. It basically came down to the aesthetics. I didn't have any fitment issues per se with the 325s. There was no rubbing and no poking. They fit very well in that aspect, but I just didn't like the way they fitted on the 11-inch wheel and the overall diameter. They're a shorter diameter, and I feel that they are a little too wide for a 11-inch wide wheel. I think they would have been more fitted for a 11.5 or even a 12-inch wide rim, just for the simple fact that they the way the profile is on them. On the 11-inch, they had more of a bulged appearance. The sidewall actually kind of protruded over the edge of the rim. I think that the 11s are a little too narrow, and it caused the bead of the tire to kind of get drawn in and caused it to kind of have that sucked in look. I don't know if that makes any sense, but on the 305s, I've got a little bit more of a stretched appearance, which I absolutely love. I like that better, and I was kind of hoping I would have been able to get that with the 325s, but after putting them on there, I realized that was just not going to happen, and I would have probably had to go with like a custom wheel, custom offset, to get something like an 11.5 or a 12-inch. I just thought it was easier just to swap out the tires. Michelin is not manufacturing these Pilot Super Sports, but I got these off of Discount Tire Direct. I saved about $300 on the cost over the 4S tires, and they still had a good amount left in stock. So now ironically enough, these actually are newer, or were manufactured more recently than the 4S tires that I had on there, so that was kind of a bonus. I ended up actually saving some money and got newer tires. And for those that don't know, I'll just kind of educate you a little bit here, but on the side of the tire there's a DOT number. At the end of that DOT number, there's a manufacturer's date. The first two digits are the week that they were manufactured. The last two digits are the year that it was manufactured. So these tires were manufactured on the 44th week of 2018. The 4S tires I had were manufactured on the 24th week of 2018. So these were done several weeks after, which I thought was kind of funny, because I thought when I had bought the 4S tires, that the Pilot Super Sports had already been superseded, and I had thought about getting the Pilot Super Sports, but was kind of afraid to buy them, because I thought, because the 4Ss were going to be the replacement, that I might be getting an older set of tires, something that might have been sitting on a shelf for a while, which in fact was not true, because these were manufactured after the 4Ss, based off of the date. So yeah, I'm kind of glad I went this route. I just wish I did it sooner. I think now you can't get them anymore, though. I mean, you can get whatever's left in stock, but as far as them manufacturing the Super Sports, you're not. That I think that's obsolete now. They've stopped the manufacturing them, if I understand correctly, and the 4Ss are the replacement. So whatever is left on the shelves in the Super Sports is what you're gonna, is what's available. And it kind of sucks, because the 4S, they have their selection is kind of limited in a wide tire, a wider tire, I should say. They don't have anything in the 35 profile. Everything's a 30, and you go with a 30 in a 325, a 305, a 295. As you go down in overall width, the diameter decreases, so that it's ultimately going to be shorter and shorter as you go down. So if you stay with a 30 series profile, and by doing that, you're ultimately increasing the wheel gap. And that was my biggest thing, was that I was kind of decreasing the wheel gap. And my whole purpose of dropping the car was to limit the wheel gap. I ended up putting a shorter diameter tire on there, ended up increasing it. I was kind of going backward. Now, whereas the 305/35, that fills things in a lot better. It's about a half an inch taller than the 325, so it's not tucked in there by any means, but it's definitely got a nicer look. And I was actually able to, when I got the 305s put on, I was able to go back to the stance that I had before with the 275 255s on the performance pack wheels that I had, the stock wheels that were on it. And that was dropping the front a little bit more than the rear to kind of give it more of a raked appearance. When I had the other setup on there was so much gap on the rear, it kind of looked off when I had the front lowered down closer. So I ended up ultimately having to raise that up a half an inch to kind of balance the front and the rear. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it looked better. But now that I have a little bit more of a beefier tire on the rear, I was able to drop the front down a little bit, and now I think it sits a lot better, and I'm overall pleased with the rear look of the rear end of the car now. The look of these tires now. So yeah, I mean, if you're out there in the market and you're watching this video, man, try and scoop these Super Sports up before they're gone, or maybe ride it out and see if 4S comes available in a 305/35 or even a 295/35, or just if you can't wait like me, that's why I went with these. I just couldn't wait for the 4S's. Just go with a different manufacturer. Fortunately these are still available, so I grabbed these, but I would have probably gone with like a Pirelli or something like that if I couldn't get the Super Sports. So but yeah, that's it for now, man, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content.